Why is it when it comes to a matter of life and death, if it's freezing cold or extreme heat, you've got animals, you've got kids in your vehicle for 3 hours, but yet here we are taking an Uber for a luxury ride to the bar. No, we're ordering Grubhub and it's there within a half hour, or a pizza even you can track on your phone. But when it comes to a matter of life and death, it's slow, and that's one of the things we're trying to tell these insurance companies, yeah, okay.
Hello there, and welcome to Skyman and the Bug. I'm the Bug, and that is
the Skyman.
We are here to build relationships, technology, and work on the many wonders of being a business owner and a nutcase. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to you listening to us, laughing with us, and taking the journey with us as we build businesses and relationships. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening again. This is Nikkei Roach, and welcome to Skyman and the Bug podcast, where we go over interesting conversations from technology, relationship, business, and what are the stupidest things you've ever done in business or in life. And my fellow co-host, and I won't say concubine, but my cohort is Josh, the Skyman Schuminsky. Go ahead, Josh.
Concubine?
Well, you're in a bedroom with the visual, so I just went there with that.
Well, I can do a strip if you want.
No, please don't. Please don't. This is a child-friendly. This is a child-friendly, podcast. So thank you very much for listening to our nutty case. We are two veteran business owners, but we're also dads, husbands, not to each other, of course, but husbands to two other women. Sorry. And our kids don't know how we operate with some kind of level of lunacy. And thank you, listeners, for being in another podcast with Skyman and the Bug. And today we got another lunatic, another high charge, another superstar, another rock star, another fellow veteran. We got and a fellow Caribbean on top of all that. So we're rocking. His wife Laura's in the background listening, and she's probably shaking her head. I don't know why he decided to get on his phone and on this podcast with us. So thank you, Rick Narpaul, who is another brother in the armed forces, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. And yes, my wife always wondered that when we get on the horn, in case she's always shaking her head.
Well, I'm glad. So I met Rick through, ironically, we got introduced through LinkedIn again, and then we realized we had so much in common. He also is a tech CEO. A CIO. He is I can say he is a multiple business owner coming from a different background. But rather than me chop it all up, Rick, in really quick and dirty and dive, tell us everything about you if I met you at a bar and you were not drunk.
Well, if you met me at a bar, chances are I'd be a little tipsy because I'm not there to drink coffee, that's for sure. But thanks for having me on, guys. Again, my name is Rick Narpaul. I am the co-founder and CEO of Mach Services. We are my wife and I developed a phone app for roadside assistance. So it's not just an app, it's a fully automated, fully digitized dispatch platform. So think of Uber type technology meets AAA services.
Totally good. So tell us why you, Mach 1 real quick is a disruptor in roadside, and tell us the dirty, dark secret that a lot of roadside assistants who have 3 letters that look identical, I'm not going to say all of them, so that we don't get sued down the road.
Right.
A roadside behemoth that has 3 identical letters, and why your company is such, just knocking them over with just like, why are they screwing that up after 100 years, and why we can do it better. So go ahead.
You nailed it on the head, Nikkei. Roadside roadside assistance been around and that company you're talking about especially has been around for over 100 years, right? And they're doing the same thing today. You get stuck on the side of the road, you're on the phone, you're talking to somebody in a different country, trying to find a tow truck. They're trying to price negotiate with them, trying to get the cheapest guy to come help you. Well, at 10 o'clock at night, you're in the middle of nowhere. How are they going to find you? There's no GPS. There's no tracking. You're next to an oak tree. You don't know where you are. You're along the countryside in the middle of Arkansas, right? So you're trying to explain to them where you are. They're in a different country. But yet here we are, right? We're taking an Uber or a Lyft every day. We're ordering Grubhub, and everything is just coming right to your door. So we thought about it and went, why is this industry still old school? So we decided to make this our beachhead, just to bring some technology. We've got a few insurance company clients on currently. We're looking to put some more on and just looking to take it to that next level, man.
So Josh recently had an emergency roadside with I'm looking at him with a tire. Josh, talk us through that and how maybe Mach 1 would have, because to be honest, Josh don't know much about Mach 1.
I'm trying to remember my emergency.
Your tire, you had a tire problem and you had to replace some tires.
Yeah, but I wasn't on the side of the road. I managed to get to the shop.
But you were at a place where you needed to get some, or you have two daughters who have emergency issues.
Oh, that's a whole different story.
But that happens every day, guys, you know, and that's the other thing with Mach 1, there is no membership. So, you know, you could be paying a membership fee with a company for 3 years and never need it. That's wasted money. When you're ready to use it one time, again, for a flat tire, let's say it'll be $50, $60 one time. You pay as you go and you're done.
Got you. Go ahead, Josh.
Rick, can you tell me about the mousetrap?
Elaborate.
What you built with the mousetrap you built for Mach 1?
What we built was 4 native apps, 2 Android, 2 iOS.
Got you. So you're a tech company as well, because although when we think of stuff, when we think of an app, or we're thinking about, you know, roadside assistance, we're not talking about necessary technology. So you're a tech company, you know, foremost, you're a roadside assistant, but your roadside assistance has a two-face. Talk me through the two faces of Mach 1, meaning, you know, I know enough about it because I'm dangerous.
Yep.
The two faces that the different users use, that and why they're unique to the industry, which is like crazy nutcase.
Yeah, so the two faces I believe you're talking about is the provider side and then the customer side, right? So the provider side, in order for them to become a service provider, which is the guys coming to you, which the request goes directly to them, not to a call center like everybody else uses. So we can sit back on a laptop and monitor where all our providers are throughout the country. And we've got a little over 14,000 on currently and still expanding it. So the providers have to start in with their sign up. They have to, you know, upload their insurance, background check, driver's license, may have said company insurance, all that stuff has to go through a check. That's another thing. We're the only company that's checking each individual for background. Most of the companies out there providing roadside, they will check Josh, Josh's company, or they'll check his background because he's the owner of the company, but not each individual driver. Because the way we operate, that call goes directly to that phone of that driver. So they have to have insurance, which can be under the company insurance. So the company would sign up, and then everybody would be under that umbrella, all their drivers, as many as they want. So
can you run me through the app, the flow of it? What's there?
So you download the app. You put in a credit card. We run a pre-authorization as a customer. We run a pre-authorization on the card. Depends on what the services you're looking for based on where you're located. So in San Antonio, Texas, a tire change could be $60. In New York City, it might be $80, $85, right? Based on your region, cost of living, whatever else, whatever the average is in that area. So you put in your information. My name is Nikkei Roach. My credit card information, and then you request whatever service you want. And it goes directly and it starts looking for the closest provider to you. It'll reach out to the closest one first. If they don't accept it in 10 seconds or 15 seconds, it goes to the next one.
So
if they don't accept it, exactly, it goes to the next one until somebody accepts it. Once they do, you get GPS pop up on both phones. That's another problem in the industry. The providers today, if Josh called for roadside assistance, you have to give an address. They got to put that address in their phone, and now they've got to try to find you. With this, the minute they accept it, GPS pop up turn-by-turn navigation. And you can see them also where they are and how close they are to you.
Yeah, and do you get like a profile pic of the driver and stuff like that?
No, we're not to that level yet. We're working on, we're raising funds still to try to do some enhancements to the app or to the whole platform.
Are you ever going to do like a virtual, if you have something you need to do a tire, you could do a virtual thing with a service company. Instead of them coming out, they can walk through
walk you through how to do it, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, at some point we might get there too, but yeah, we also looked at possibly doing body cameras. I mean, we haven't had any incidents, knock on wood, that we needed it yet, but eventually, yes, where they'll have to upload a profile pic of themselves, maybe have body camera for when they get on site, so you can monitor and all that information, all that data. Everything is in real time with us. The problem, one of the challenges has been with these insurance companies, they all want cheap, right? They want to go with the lowest guy. When they're offering somebody $30 at 10:30 at night, in the middle of a snowstorm to come help you change a tire, that's not going to motivate somebody to get out of bed to come help you. When they see they're making a fair market rate and they don't have to go as far, that's another thing with us. They can see that they're 3.2 miles away from you. You know,
It's funny you should mention that. And I'm gonna bring a really horror story into this situation. So I'm in this a while back, but me and my kids, my wife and I, get overheated. So I'm headed down to I-95, headed, and I'm just shy of Jacksonville. So I call the 3-letter, who we won't name,
Yep.
and they said, "Okay, where are you located?" You know, we told them blah 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 blah. They said, "Okay, well let's go and we'll call you back and see what we got." I said, "Okay, cool." You know, whatever line. It was a long time. So imagine you got youngsters and they're all, you know, we have no food around, we have nothing to do but sit on the side of the road, just looking like roadkill. And we finally get back to them. At the same time, there's a massive auto backup, so we don't know. So the driver actually comes all the way from Jacksonville. Now mind you, they're closer to us. As our car was being towed later on, we realized there's a whole bunch of other providers who had tow trucks who could have come out, but that driver had to come from all the way from Jacksonville with putting enough time. So by the time the guy got to us, it was 3 hours. So I'm sitting on the side of the road and I'm thinking there's got to be a better way. But at the time, I was not aware of Mach 1. And I was like, wow, if that was available, it would have been called, because literally, and this is not hyperbole, there was a tow company not even a mile away, because we passed it on the way to the service place. The guys who finally did a wonderful, a family-owned company who was actually from North Carolina, but they live in Florida, and they replaced our water pump. That's what was going on. And so that was really, really, really helpful to understand that you don't have to wait. And then the problem, like you said earlier, and I know this only because I've talked to you, is that when the service company is looking, that like those names, they're calling all these different people manually. So that call center, that calling person might be in Manila, they might be in India, they might be wherever they are, trying to find the cheapest route to get them to you. Where in your case, hey, it's going to go through a series of closer and say, hey, we got something on the side of the road. This is their incident. They have X number of people in their car, because that's important. Because if you have a car full of kids, you can't travel with just a regular tow truck. You have to have a 4-door truck that can pull the family along with the car, which
right.
is very important.
And that is critical too, because another feature that we offer is you can call or text that provider right within the app when they accept it. So you can let them know that, hey, you know, I've got 2 kids with me and my wife. Are you guys able to transport passengers? Because a lot of the providers out there, the call centers aren't telling you that, but due to liability, some are not allowed to transport customers. So that's another thing that you can just call them, ask them right in the app. If they can't do it, then they'll send the right vehicle or someone that can do that. Or in some cases, get an Uber along with them to come help you. But you have direct communication with the provider. That's something that's unheard of in this industry with everybody else. You don't know who's coming. But you're right, Nikkei, the average wait time is 3 to 3.5 hours on the side of the road.
That could suck in the middle of winter, and you got to.
Well, why is it when it comes to a matter of life and death? If it's freezing cold or extreme heat, you've got animals, you've got kids in your vehicle for 3 hours, but yet here we are taking an Uber for a luxury ride to the bar. You know, we're ordering Grubhub, and it's there within a half hour, or a pizza even you can track on your phone. But when it comes to a matter of life and death, it's slow, and that's one of the things we're trying to tell these insurance companies. Yeah, okay, so Nikkei has been paying his membership with you for 5, 7, 10 years. But then the one time he needs help, you're trying to save $25.
So I'm going to ask a question as we come to the close. 2 questions. One of them is first. What's the stupidest thing you ever heard in business, in your business? And it could be long, but try to make it short. The stupidest thing you heard, and then I'll ask you how people can get in contact with you.
The stupidest thing, meaning in the roadside industry in general?
Yeah.
Okay, there was a Texas A&M. There was a girl that got off work at a pizza joint, I believe, at about 11 o'clock at night. This wasn't through Mach 1, but it was one of our providers or somebody telling us the story. Actually, one of my investors. This happened to his daughter. She got off work. She calling around for a tow truck. Her dad finally found a tow truck to come help her jumpstart her car, tow it or whatever. Well, of course, the dad was the one that was calling. So the dad had to give his daughter's phone number to this tow truck driver. The tow truck driver went and helped her. Afterwards, she finally drove herself back to the barracks or the dorms, college at A&M. And then the guy started calling and texting her. Hey, you and your friends want to go out for a drink? You guys want to go? Yes, he started harassing her for days.
Whoa.
Yep. Pretty crazy, huh? With us, we don't share any personal information because everything is done within the app.
Which is very reassuring. As I was talking with Josh has daughters. I have sons, but still, dude go into, creepy mode. And it's like, that's unnerving.
Well, and he knew where she worked and he knew where she lived because he had to tow the car there.
Creepy.
Yep, very creepy.
Very creepy. So if someone wants to get in contact with Mach 1 or even you or even your wife, how do they reach out to you if they
Hey, don't get out the wife's information.
Oh, hell no. I know she's behind the camera right now. Don't say no. Like, how do they get in contact with you professionally, not, stalk you and stalk your family kind of weird stuff?
Well, the way I met you, LinkedIn is always a great opportunity. Rick Narpaul at LinkedIn. Or you can get on our website. It's mach1services.com. And there's a contact page in there. Just put in your information on the contact page, and somebody monitors that on a regular basis. It comes right to us.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, for this very, very, it's appropriate that we have Mach 1, very quick, very to the point kind of podcast today. Thank you, Josh, for being in the last minute because we record these when we have these CEOs and these folks who can actually speak to the issue at hand. And I really appreciate your time as a fellow veteran and as a dad and as a husband and as a business leader and all the other titles and tasks that you.
A little bit of everything, bro.
A little bit of everything. I really appreciate your time. And you, our listeners, thank you for being here on another nutty episode of
The Skyman
and the Bug podcast here, not on NBC. I'll see you next time.
All right. Take care, gentlemen.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You've been listening to
The Skyman
and the Bug. We appreciate you being here. Join us again for another episode of Skyman and the Bug. And if you have any questions, reach out to us either on LinkedIn, Facebook, and other places that you just try to find us.
Take care.
Bye.